Catherine. I work for the City of Louisville Open Space. With us here today is also Kristen, who's a children's librarian, and Tom Davenroy is our seasonal ranger. So today we're here to talk to you guys a little bit about coyotes, what they look like, what to do when you see one, and how to prevent them from, coming into our yards where we're potentially uncomfortable. So we do have some information for the parents in the back. We have some, our coyote management plan, which we finalized October of last year, and also our updated coyote report form, which we will talk a little bit about later on. And also we have a new revised trail map, volunteer opportunities, and then earlier I mentioned our listserv. We do have an email listserv where we send out information on upcoming educational programs and volunteer opportunities. So if you are not on that listserv and are interested, you can put your name or email address on there. And then we also have an educational survey as well, so we're always interested to hear your input on how our programs are doing, things that, any recommendations that you might have on how we can improve on that. So how many of you guys have seen a coyote before? Let's see a show of hands. I'd say pretty much everyone, huh? All right, let's put our hands down. And how many of you have seen them here in Louisville? Quite a few of you as well. Okay. Well, coyotes are very common here in Louisville, and we can learn to coexist with coyotes by hazing them and never feeding them. So we'll talk about what hazing means here in just a moment. So coyotes are common here in Louisville, and conflicts are being reported more often. Where we do receive information on coyote sightings and incidents potentially throughout Louisville. Who can tell me what does a coyote look like? Let's see, there's no show of hands. What does a coyote look like? It's gray. It can be. Yeah, it looks like a dog. What size dog? Like a husky size, like maybe a medium size, about 3.5 to 4.5 feet from tip to tail. Yes. Looks like dingoes, yeah. If you know what a dingo looks like, it's kind of a cross between a dog and a wolf, I think. Yeah, kind of like a wolf. So here's the coyote here. So he's a medium-sized dog, grayish brown with a lighter underbelly, and pointy ears and a long snout. So you see the little pointy ears here, and then we've got a longer snout. Kind of almost looks a little bit like a German Shepherd or a Husky. And this is a coyote pelt. So we can, you guys can all kind of pass this around and give him a feel. He's really soft. And you can see the coloring here. He blends in pretty well with grass and trees. So why don't you guys pass him around, just gently give him a feel and pass him around. Kind of a buff color. So coyotes are very adaptable. Does anyone have any idea what we mean by adaptable? It's kind of a big word. They kind of maybe adjust a little bit. Yeah, so like say if it's raining outside, we might grab a rain jacket, right? So, we can kind of prepare for changes in our environment. And obviously a coyote can't do that, right? But over time, their bodies kind of change so that they become more suited for their environment. So in this photo, what do you think might be a coyote's advantage here? Do you see, he kind of blends in pretty well, right? Yeah, so you can see he's kind of camouflage, right? He blends in with the grass really well. So why would that be a good thing for a coyote? Yeah, so he can hide in the trees or in the grass here, and that helps him find prey because he can kind of hide out. So another way that coyotes are adaptable is that they can live in many different kinds of environments. We can find them in cities, in mountains, and in prairies. That's because everything that a coyote needs to survive can be found right here in Louisville. So what do we need to survive? Let's put your hand up and say, what's something that coyotes need to survive? Food, okay. So we all need food, right? What's something else we all need to survive? Yeah. Water, yeah. What's the other thing? We do need sleep, yes, but where do we sleep? In bed, yeah. Any other ideas? Yeah. Shelter, very good. So we all need food, water, and shelter. And coyotes can find all of that here in Louisville. And they obviously don't live in a house like we do, but they live in dens, which are like big holes in the ground or under large trees. So in the wild, coyotes might travel as far as 5 miles to get everything that they need to survive. So this whole area, this is city of Louisville here. So you might see kind of your area, your open space near your property. But in the wild, in Louisville, a coyote might be able to find all of what it needs to survive in this small area, as opposed to all of this to explore to find what it needs. So it's very, got a lot of food and water and shelter in a smaller area than they would have in the wild or in the mountains, not in the suburban. So what do coyotes eat? Any ideas on what do coyotes eat? Yeah. Rabbits, yes. Yeah. Geese, they might get a goose, yes. Any other ideas? What's that? Squirrels, yes. So they like rodents, right? They like smaller animals. They also will eat birds, insects, plants, grass, compost, dog food, and trash. So we call them opportunistic, right? So they'll eat just about anything they can find. So should we ever feed a coyote? No. Not only is it illegal to feed a coyote, but coyotes are extremely clever. So if they learn that they can come into your backyard and find dog food or trash or something, they might come back the next day and they might bring their friends too. So that's really important to never feed coyotes because we don't want them to become comfortable coming into our backyards and into our neighborhoods. And you can get a ticket, too, with it being illegal as well. So what should you do if you ever encounter an aggressive coyote? First of all, we should never, ever turn our backs to a coyote because that can initiate their predator response. So the most important thing to do is always make yourself look large, to yell, kind of raise your arms up. If you have a backpack on you, you could put that up in the air. Make yourself look bigger. Be loud, make noise. Throw something towards the coyote if you are feeling threatened, and back away slowly. And of course, always tell your parents if you've ever been out on the trail or something and you've seen a coyote that made you uncomfortable, let us know. So what can we do to keep coyotes wild? So we mentioned this before. Never feed coyotes and make sure food and trash cans are secure. You could pick up food trash, so when you're walking to school or something, make sure that you take all your trash with you and put it in the cans or in your backpack so that you can throw it away later on. Another important part is to bring your pets in at night. Coyotes can be found or active throughout the daytime, but in suburban city environments, they're mostly active at night. So make sure you bring your pets in. That includes your cats and dogs. And while you're out on open space or taking your pets for a walk, make sure they're on a leash so that they are always close to you. We recommend a 6-foot long leash. So again, haze them, be loud, try to scare them. The coyotes are naturally afraid of us, right? We want to make sure that they continue to be afraid of us. If they're not, that's where let us know, the Open Space Division know, or also call the police department. But make sure that you're loud. Let them know, hey, don't come here, and they should run away. So we'll play a little true and false here. We'll see how you guys, what you've learned today. So true or false, coyotes only live in the mountains. False, very good. True or false, coyotes only eat meat. So what else did they eat? Plants, trash, compost, yeah, so not just meat. So true or false, coyotes are wild animals. Yeah, it's very true. They're not like our dogs that we have at home, maybe. So true or false, coyotes are not dangerous. False. Very good. So true or false, if I see a coyote in my yard, I should ignore it. Very good. No, let him be loud, let him run off out there onto open space. So true or false, you can help keep coyotes wild. True. Very good. So true or false, feeding a coyote is dangerous and illegal. Very good. So if you do have any encounters that you feel that we should know about, we do have our coyote report form. This was updated last year, and we have copies in the back and also in our management plan. So please complete a report form. Let us know what you're seeing out there. And we do have, this is a 2-page front and back here. For human and coyote interactions, like any kind of incident or attack, we do request for further information about the incident. So that's our report form, and you can email that to coyotes@louisvilleco.gov. So just wrapping it up for me, and then I'm going to hand it over to Kristen. But remember, you can help keep coyotes wild by picking up trash and bringing in dog food and not feeding them. Picking up a coyote report form in case you need to report an encounter or conflict. And thanks so much for listening, and I'll pass it on to Kristen.
Thank you. All right, everyone, we're going to play a game. So I'd like all the kids up here to stand up, and if you're sitting in a chair, you can come up. We are going to play Coyote Says. So how many of you have played Simon Says? Okay, so this is just like Simon Says, except for it's with a coyote. So what are the rules? Can anyone tell me? Yeah. Yes, exactly. So if I don't say Coyote Says first, you don't do it. And this is what we should do if we ever see a coyote. So if I say Coyote Says, follow along. But if I don't. Okay, you ready? All right. Coyote says, jump up and down. Very nice. That's a good way to make ourselves big for the coyotes. All right. Coyote says, wave your arms. Coyote says, shake a tree. Again, we're making ourselves big. So, Coyote says, act crazy. Very nice. All right. Crouch down. Oh, did coyote say? No, okay. So we never want to crouch down when we see a coyote, right? All right. Let's go. Coyote says, trim the bushes back. Okay. Coyote says, pick up trash. Let's pick up our trash. We're going to throw it all away so that we don't have food waste for the coyotes. Right. Turn around and run away. Oh, did coyote say? No, so we don't ever turn our back to a coyote, right? All right. Coyote says, walk dog on a leash. Keep our dogs with us at all times. Very nice. Or cats, yeah. Coyote says, jump up and down. Very nice. Coyote says, sweep up birdseed. Why would we want to sweep up birdseed? What do you think? Yeah. Exactly, because coyotes could eat the seed, and we don't want them to do that. All right. Coyote says, scream. Ah! Very nice. Pet the coyote. Oh, good job. Yeah, we don't ever want to touch the coyote, right? So we don't want to pet it. Feed the coyote. We do that? Or do we want to feed them? No, we never want to feed them. All right. Coyote says, stay in a group. Make a group? Let's all group together. There we go. We're making ourselves nice and big. Very nice. We're a big group. No coyotes getting near us. All right. Throw trash on the ground. Wait, did coyote say? No. Do we ever want to throw trash on the ground? No. We don't want to leave food, and that's just not nice to do anyway, so. All right. Coyote says, walk dog with leash. Walking our dog. There we go. Very nice. Let the dog go. Oh, good job, you guys, right? We don't ever want to let our dogs off leash. Good job. Oops. Coyote says, jump up and down and wave your arms. Very nice. All right. Coyote says, oh, this is a big one. Coyote says, shake a tree while jumping up and down and screaming. Can we do all that? Very nice. Coyote says, shut the garbage can lid. Nice and tight. Okay. Turn your back to the coyote. Ooh, good job. Coyote didn't say. Yeah, we never turn our backs, right? All right. Coyote says to act big. How do we act big? Very nice. All right. Lay down. Ooh, good job, most of you. Yeah. We never want to lay down for a coyote, right? All right. Okay, I'm going to mix them up. Should we go through again, or are we good? Okay, we'll do a couple more. See if I can get you this time. Most of you are doing really well. All right, Coyote says, jump up and down. Very nice. All right. Feed the coyote. Oh, good job. Very nice. Yeah, we're not going to feed those coyotes. Coyote says, stay in a group. Nice job. Yes, that's a great group. Okay, throw trash on the ground. Do we want to do that? No, no trash on the ground. Coyote says, jump up and down. Coyote says, walk the dog on a leash. Walking the dog on the leash. Very nice. Let the dog go. Do we do it? Oh, good job. You're right. We never let the dog go. Okay. Turn your back on the coyote. Oh, good. Yes, we don't want to turn our backs. All right. Coyote says, act big. Lay down. Oh, we don't want to lay down, right? Coyote didn't say. All right. We'll do just a couple more. Coyote says, wave your arms. Coyote says, shake a tree. Hey, quit shaking. Coyote says, sweep up birdseed. Coyote says, scream. All right, guys, great job. So now I'm going to pass it on, and we're going to learn some more about the coyote.
All right. You guys were very, very good. You can all, kids can come back up front. I'm holding a model of, what do you think this is? A dinosaur. Kind of looks like a dinosaur, doesn't it? What do you think it is? It's a coyote skull and jaw. That's right. And you notice anything big on the coyote skull? The teeth. Yeah, the teeth. Coyotes are wild animals, and they rely on lots of food sources that they have to find and catch and eat. And that takes a lot of energy, and they need some specialized tools like sharp teeth to catch their food and to eat their food. So those big sharp teeth, I'll pass this around. Catherine, want to take that? Thanks. Those big sharp teeth are really important tools for coyotes. And they are then something we want to avoid, don't we? We don't want to get too close to coyotes. And I'm the open space ranger, so my job is to go out and patrol around on the open space. Do you know what patrol means? Everybody knows what patrol means? It means I get to go and walk around and ride my bike around and make sure that everybody on open space is safe. And when I say everybody, I mean all of the people and all of the animals too. And so the open space ranger has some important rules for everybody to keep all of us safe and all of the animals safe too. And you guys you've already heard these rules, and you're really smart, and I know you'll remember them. And our first rule is always keep dogs on a leash, because we don't want our dogs to get hurt by the coyotes. The coyotes might think our dogs are food. We don't want them. Or cats. And you know, I have a neighbor who even walks a bunny rabbit on a leash. And we wouldn't want the bunny rabbit to get loose out in the open space for sure. And the other rule is never feed wild animals. Any kind of wild animals, and especially coyotes. Now, when I say never feed them, of course I mean don't walk up and hand them your sandwich. How many of you think that coyotes like peanut butter and jelly? Yeah, they do. They'll eat peanut butter and jelly. So never give them your peanut butter and jelly or anything else. But there are other ways that people feed coyotes, and they don't even know they're doing it. They leave their pet food outside all day and night. That coyotes will find pet food. They're not careful with their bird feeders, and they let bird seed on the ground. Coyotes will eat bird seed. And they leave their trash out or their compost uncovered. So those are all things that we can do to help protect us and protect the coyotes. Okay, a show of hands here. How many of you want to protect the coyotes? Great. So all of you can be junior rangers and help protect the coyotes. And we'll all have a much better experience when we go out into open space. It's a real pleasure and a gift for us to be able to see wild animals here in Louisville, but we want to make sure that they're safe and that we're safe. So I'm going to hand this back to Catherine, and we'll take questions from you.
Thank you, Tom. How many of you guys had seen Tom out on the trails? Anybody had seen him out and about? A couple of you guys seen him out? Yeah, he's going to be out riding his bike, checking out all our open space and parks properties throughout the summer. So if you do, make sure you give him a big wave and a smile. But yeah, that's the end of our presentation for today. But I wanted to open up and see if you guys had any questions for us. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting question because it seemed like a couple years ago we were receiving more coyote reports than we have recently in the last 2 years, at least from what I have seen. And, you know, I actually talked with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, who is a great resource for wildlife questions. And I was on the phone with one of the ladies that works for Parks and Wildlife, and she said that they haven't seen any changes in the population. From their understanding, there hasn't been any reduction or anything like that. So I was just wondering if maybe people are becoming more accustomed to coyotes being around, or, you know, it seems like we've had a lot of rabbits in the last couple of years, that maybe that's keeping them well fed and keeping them from, you know, coming into neighborhoods. But it's a very interesting question. I don't know any data behind that, but she said from Parks and Wildlife that she hadn't seen any changes in population. But I wondered, you know, with a high amount of rabbits around, if maybe they were very well fed through that. I don't know if, Tom, did you have any thoughts? Or
The populations are also somewhat cyclical in that they respond to natural causes. Disease is one. And you may see coyotes that don't look very healthy out there, that their fur is falling out, they have skinny tails. They have a condition called mange. And mange is a small parasite that makes their skin really itchy, and they just chew their fur right off of their bodies. So we're always on the lookout for unhealthy coyotes. And sometimes, some years the mange is bad, and the coyote populations go down from that. Oh, another question, yes.
no, not necessarily very high. I think their statistics are very low with that. Rabies is going to be more common with like raccoons and skunks. I think is more common with that. And I'm not sure what the ratings were as far, or the percentages of coyotes, but I remember it's very low cases with coyotes. So it's going to be more common with like raccoons. Oh, you mean reports of injuries from coyotes? We haven't had any reports of attacks here in Louisville. I know there had been some a few years ago in Broomfield, but we haven't had any attacks here. We did have, you know, sometimes in April, coyotes can show den guarding behavior because that's their pup rearing season. And they might kind of act a little bit aggressive if people get in the area. Maybe I think we had you know, a little bit of snarling and that sort of thing, but no attacks. But they were just trying to defend their young, and so we actually closed the trail in that area to keep people safe and away from that area while they were raising their pups. Yeah, another question back there? Well, I think that eventually it just kills them after, I think it makes them kind of lethargic after a long period of time. Like they can live with mange, it seems, for a while, but I think they just kind of lose some energy and then they can't hunt for themselves. And yeah, and then they could get cold too. That's a good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one more question? How about you over there? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. What do they eat? What do you guys remember? Do you guys remember what coyotes eat? They eat rabbits, yeah. Trash. Almost anything, right? Does anyone ever remember that big word we used earlier that begins with an O? Opportunistic. Yeah, they'll eat just about anything. Yeah, how about you? Oftentimes it's spread from each other. So if one of them has mange, then they lay next to another coyote, then it can spread to another coyote that way. Yeah, another question over here? They can, but it's very rare. The most common potentially is that mange, where if you have a dog that lays in an area where a coyote infected with mange has been, then sometimes that can spread onto dogs. But that can always be treated with insecticides, there's two different kinds of manges, but there's an insecticide that you can wash your dog with or take him to the vet, and they can easily get that taken care of. Another question back here. They don't. I think they do enjoy rabbits, so I'm surprised to hear that. Yeah, another question back here. It depends. I've heard people call it both ways, and I find myself calling them coyotes and coyotes sometimes. So I think either way is acceptable. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Typically with situations like that, sometimes we let the Colorado Parks and Wildlife know as they would handle any of the real management with wildlife. And what I found with a lot of wildlife situations is they would rather see nature take its course, and they don't really like to intervene. Unless, of course, it's a danger to human and health safety, then, of course, that would certainly be something they would respond to. But typically what I found is that they prefer to keep, nature to run its own course and not interfere. All right, we'll do one more question. How about you over here in the blue shirt? Oh. Yes, it is. It's the same. Uh-huh. So scabies would be the human form of mange. But there's two different types of mange. So there's the sarcoptic mange and goodness, I can't remember what the other one is. But one you can just treat is more like a simple insecticide treatment, and then there's the one where they lose the fur and stuff, where you'd want to go to the vet's office and get a shampoo for that. But it's all very easily treatable. Okay, how about you in the blue shirt back here? One more question. I think a coyote would probably have a better shot. At least the ones around here, the small snakes around here, I think would maybe be a potential meal for a coyote. Yeah, one more question. The rabbit what, sorry? I believe so, but I'm not sure. Do you know of that one? Mm-hmm. Well, if it was my understanding that the fleas were coming from dead rodents, so if there's any dead animals, certainly make sure you have a face mask on and gloves and dispose of it. But yeah, I mean if they're alive, I mean I think just trying to stay away from them. But it was my understanding that there was mostly an issue with dead rodents, and it was extremely rare. So, all right. Well, thank you guys all so much for coming today. I hope. How many of you guys learned something today? Let's see. Did we learn something? All right. Great. All right. Well, thanks so much, you guys. Feel free to grab any educational materials, fill out a survey, let us know how we did, and we appreciate it. You guys have a great summer out there.